Well, guys, again, welcome on board. This is our Boeing 737-800 replica flight deck. We're ready from departure. This is basically runway 15 in Rio. This is the Galeao International Airport. What we do, we're going to do a couple of landings here.
Okay.
Actually, we do the first one here, and then we go to the other airport to see how hard it is to land.
Okay.
So obviously, we need to basically steer the aircraft on the ground, drive it on the ground, following this yellow line in front of us, make a turn to the left and get to the runway, which is basically going in that direction.
Okay.
We use the tiller, which is that one on the left.
Yep,
That's it. It's like a car, basically. And if you're in the turn, you basically need to hold the direction you want to go.
Right.
So once we complete the turn and we are on the runway center line, we're going to leave the tiller. We're not going to use it. We're just going to use the pedals for the takeoff roll.
Okay.
So those pedals controls basically the nose gear plus the tail of the aircraft.
Yep.
So what happens, because we are not fast when we start rolling, this is not very efficient. So
Right.
let's get it more efficient as we start increasing the speed down.
Right. Okay.
Also, the reason why we use the tiller that moves the nose gear, but with a smaller angle than the tiller. So
Right.
if you want to do like a 90 degrees turn, you gotta use the tiller.
You got to use this. Okay.
Yes, exactly.
So these are actually still connected to the nose gear.
Yes,
But
yes.
they don't move it as much.
Not as much,
Okay.
exactly. Just a
You don't want
smaller
to,
angle.
like,
Yeah,
very
exactly.
down the
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I always wondered about that actually.
So basically, if you're landing, imagine that you're pulling this all the way.
Yeah.
What happens? The nose gear is gonna be bent on the side.
Yeah.
It's not very safe to land that way.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Yeah. For the takeoff roll, you got the yoke in front of you. This yoke controls your aileron basically, and it's polar as well. That's in high speed.
Yep.
What happens on takeoff roll? We keep this center all the time. We don't turn left or right like a car. Otherwise, what happens? The wing's gonna move down
Yeah.
and touch down on the runway because the
Right.
clearance of the engine. You've probably seen that the 737 has got a flat engine.
Yeah.
And that's because the clearance on the ground.
Right.
So imagine that we got probably 50, 60 centimeters. That's
not a
about
lot.
it. No,
So
a
if you
lot.
start doing that, then the
Yeah,
wheels will start to
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So we keep this center. We start the takeoff roll. Once you reach the takeoff speed, which is today 132 knots, you can see up there 132.
132 here.
So when I say rotate, you don't have to look at the numbers. When I say rotate for you means that you need to pull the yoke all the way, and you keep in this position.
Okay.
You just look outside then to look basically the nose to come up. When you see the nose coming up, you just look outside for the first part, and then basically what happens if you keep pulling back,
Yeah.
the climb's going to be way too steep.
It's going to stall.
So we just reduce that a little bit, and we try to maintain 15 for the
15
climb.
degrees, okay.
15 is the second line between 10 and 20 basically.
Cool.
So we keep 15, and then we're gonna basically adjust the thrust for the takeoff and maintain 10 for the climb. And before we reach 3,000 feet, which is our level flight today,
Yep.
we're gonna push the nose down from 10 down to 5 to maintain a level flight. We always fly with the nose up to maintain level
So
flight.
5-degree angles and all
5
that
degrees,
flying.
yeah.
Okay.
That's how we fly, and that's basically depends on the speed we're flying. So imagine that we're flying very low, below to 10,000 feet with low speed. So that's why we need to increase the angle to maintain
Right.
level flight. Perfect.
Gotcha.
So what we got the primary flight display in front of you. The airspeed is located on the left hand side. The altitude is on the right hand side. With 40 feet is the elevation of the runway above the ocean.
Okay.
0 feet here is basically the radial altimeter. The attitude indicator is right there. That's basically telling you the wings position and the nose position as well.
So that's barometric altitude and that's radio altitude?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Plus we got the VSI here, which is the vertical speed indicator.
Right, okay.
And it's telling you if you're climbing or descending. It's basically a needle which moves up and down.
Goes up, down.
And that's very useful if you want to maintain altitude.
Okay.
So if you want to turn the aircraft, what we do, we move the yoke direction you want to go.
Yep.
So let's say we go right, you rotate right. That's usually the angle we use. We never go something
No.
like that. This is
Crazy.
called aerobatics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People get sick.
Exactly, straight away. So
Yeah.
we select the angle, and once you select the angle, the aircraft is going to start banking and drop the nose down as well.
Okay.
So we need to pull the nose a little bit back just to maintain 5. You can use that VSI to maintain a stride. It's useful. Then also, that's your navigation display, which is like a map. There's basically a rotating compass,
Yep.
the triangle, which is the aircraft pointing in that direction,
Okay.
and this is the runway here. The runway's got the runway extension center line, which is indicated the white broken line on both sides of the runway.
Who's that guy?
It's traffic around the area, somewhere up here. We can see it yet. It's probably in the
Where's
clouds.
that actually coming from?
Not too sure. It's flying around the airport. It
Right.
doesn't say where it's coming from.
Oh, so it's
just
just
telling you that.
inserts
Yeah,
random traffic?
it's,
Right.
it's basically the radar on board, which is
Yeah.
telling you the traffic where it is.
Cool.
It's telling you that he's climbing. Now he's out of the range,
Out of
so
the
it's
range,
not a problem
right.
for us.
Cool.
And yes, the pink broken line up here, that's the direction for takeoff, which is
Okay.
called heading bug, and you should select that in the direction you want to go.
So that's where that's the direction we're taking off.
Exactly, we
So
take
go
off that
straight.
way.
Okay.
And then when we want to turn, I'm going to twist that direction you want to go, and you just fly that direction.
Cool.
Then those two display here, Edward, there's basically upper and lower display. You got the engine on the left hand side and the right engine on the right hand side. Is engine number 1, engine number 2. The gauge for the fuel.
Yep.
And what you need to really look on this is basically the two gauges on the top, N1s. The N1s is basically your actual power on the turbine. So what we do, if you want to increase the thrust, you push the thrust lever forward,
Okay.
and I'm pushing, for example, to 6,
Right.
and you look for the little line. You can see the little line,
right,
and that's the
okay.
actual power which is increasing,
Okay.
and that's going to catch up to 6.
Right.
Pretty simple. And we usually cruise with 4.
Okay.
It's 40%, so that's roughly where you want to stay, just above the number. Before landing, we usually bring the thrust levers back to idle.
Okay.
That's basically professional ways to say retard the thrust.
That TAM airline pilot didn't do, I think.
Yeah,
He
okay.
had one on full power.
Oh, wow. That's how you crash in that place.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So, after touchdown, we got the reverse thrust levers. These two levers here, we need to bring it all the way back. That's going to open the close and invert the airflow and reduce the speed of the aircraft. Also, we got the speed brakes that's used to slow down as well. That's basically your spoiler on the wings. Unfortunately, the system that's an automatic system, but that's unserviceable on the aircraft.
Oh, okay.
So what I do, we're gonna basically do it manually. I don't do it for you.
Right.
So simply pull this out and you bring it in the up position on the ground.
Right.
If you need to use it on flight, you usually select flight detent.
Okay.
So different kind of positions.
So that's landing and that's in flight.
In
speed
flight,
brake,
yes,
basically, which
speed brakes.
That's not quite as severe as that one.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Yeah. If you probably go up here and you're really fast, you can really damage the wing.
Right.
So yeah,
Okay.
it doesn't happen very often.
Normally that's automatic, you were saying?
Yes.
Okay.
What we do, if that was working, we
Yeah.
basically select this in this arm position here.
Ah, right.
That's armed. You can see the light is
Yeah.
illuminated.
Yeah.
And what happens when you touch down on the ground, the lever is going to move up itself.
Oh, right. Okay.
So that's reduce the workload for
So
the pilot.
you don't have to think about it. Yeah.
Yes. And imagine if you're flying, then I need to be like cross controls because I need to put my hand here while you're using the thrust levers.
Right.
And it's
yeah,
it's not safe.
It's like this.
Yeah.
I got
So.
you. Actually, someone forgot to use that as well.
Yeah,
One day.
sometimes it happens
Yeah.
when they do use the checklist.
Yeah, exactly.
So what we got here is also the flaps. The flaps is basically your leading and trailing edge flaps.
Yep.
Is the surface which increase your lift forces over the wing. So what we need to do is basically move this lever in the up position after takeoff, or down to 30 or 40 for landing or touch and go.
Okay.
So to move the lever, simply lift the lever up and drop it in every different notch.
Right.
If you move that way, you won't get stuck in the safety feature here.
Right. Okay.
So that's why there is basically the notch. You can't see the numbers, so what you do, you simply move it by stage and I'll tell you what numbers you are at that stage there.
Rather than having to.
So if you just select 5,
Yep.
try that. So 1, drop it down a little bit
Right,
and
okay.
bring it back a little. So it's basically there's like a triangle under these two notch.
Right, and
That's
then-
it.
okay, that's
2 and 5.
5. Okay.
Perfect.
Got it.
Then after takeoff, we close basically retract the landing gear,
Yep.
pull out and all the way up,
Okay.
then landing out and all the way down.
Okay.
Your flaps, we check the flaps, basically that is on 5, that's your indicator, and the green light is telling that the flaps is extended.
Okay.
And the last thing is your auto brake system. There is an auto brake system which will reduce the workload in the
Yeah,
cockpit.
so how does auto brake work?
It basically works. You got different different positions.
Yep.
So RTO is for takeoff. That
Okay.
means reject takeoff. Then we got 1, 2, 3, and max. That usually depends on the weight of the aircraft and the runway distance. For longer runway and when you're very light, you only use 1 or 2. That's it. If you land in that place there, you use max.
Yeah.
So and if you land in Hong Kong, 3 max is usually pretty good.
Okay.
I mean, for this aircraft, Hong Kong is not too bad because the 73 is smaller. But if you're flying 74,
Yeah.
max is really
Max is
necessary.
when you need it, right.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And yeah, that's about it.
How does it know when to put the brakes on? When it's auto brakes?
For example, the auto brakes engages when you touch down.
Okay.
So after touchdown, and you got all the gear down.
Yep.
And for takeoff, if you don't want to do no board takeoff, so you decide what board takeoff, what you do, you bring the thrust lever back from 10
Yep,
to idle,
to idle.
and that deploys the brakes.
Right. Wow. Okay.
That's the system. If this doesn't work, you can use your pedals, basically on the top of the pedals with your toes. If
Yeah.
you push the toes forward, that's how
that's
your
where the
brakes
brakes
down.
are. Okay.
What happens if you do it when you are got all the brake system engaged?
Yeah.
That disengage the system.
Right.
So then if you forget, I got auto brakes, no maybe not,
Yeah.
you get dumped in the water. So for landing, just use the auto brakes there.
Yeah. So normally they don't. Normally they wouldn't touch.
Yeah, it's more precise as well. Basically
Right.
what happens, you can push more right or more left, that is going to skid away.
Right.
That way system is more precise. Obviously,
It's calculated.
yeah, it's calculated, yeah.
Okay.
Alright, let's get going.
Cool.
So before takeoff checklist is already complete, it's basically the first line, which is tell us the flaps 5 and green lights.
Green light. Yep.
Then we turn on the landing lights up here.
Okay.
The fuel pump is already on, which you
Yep.
just checked that. We select the fasten seatbelt sign in the on position, all the
Yeah.
way forward,
Okay.
and the strobe light all the way back as well.
Okay.
Perfect. Alright, Experience 556 ready for takeoff, runway 15 4 seconds.
Right.
We want just wait for the clearance and then we taxi down. You can
Flight Experience
push forward.
556, line up.
Line up, Experience 556. That's your parking brakes. You
Okay.
can push it forward
Push
with
it
just with
forward.
the finger.
Like
That's
that.
it. That's released.
Okay.
Perfect. And you right hand on the thrust levers. Push the thrust lever on the first line,
Yeah.
which is 3. A little bit back a bit.
Oh,
It's very sensitive. That's the first
That
one
one
here. Yeah, which is basically 3.
okay.
And if you look outside, we're
Oh,
rolling.
We're rolling. Okay, and then
That's
turn
it.
on the tiller.
Yes.
Okay.
That's it. Remember that you're gonna be on the left hand side of the lane, and the
Yeah.
nose is gonna stay on the center lane.
Okay.
Bring the thrust back.
Yeah.
So you find yourself with a little bit of an angle as you go to the runway.
Okay.
Wait for the center line, and then you turn. Wait a bit more. Wait a bit more. That's it. Perfect.
About that.
About that, that's fine.
Okay.
So what we do now, we leave the tiller. We're gonna use the pedals from now on.
Okay.
We
Yep.
pop the left hand on the yoke
Yep.
and the right hand on the thrust levers.
Okay.
So we increase first the thrust up to 4. We want to do an engine check.
Right. Okay.
So we select 4.
Everything's.
We-
So you've got the brakes on.
Yes, I got the brakes for
Brakes
you.
on.
I'm press
Okay.
pushing with my toes. Perfect.
Okay.
So 4, we select is check the engine number 1, which is clear.
Yeah.
The engine number 2 is clear as well. Basically, there are no red numbers, no failures on the
Right.
system.
Okay. Okay.
Space 556 ready for takeoff.
Flight Experience 556, cleared for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, Space 556. Alright, next down, rolling. So, thrust to 10 for takeoff. Pop your left hand on the yoke and use the pedals.
All right.
That's it. Keep your right hand on the thrust. Keep it there, just
There,
there.
yep.
That's it. A little bit pedals, a little bit.
on-
Just
bring
a
it
bit.
back
Yeah, just
Yeah.
to keep your center a little bit more here.
Yeah.
Just remember that you want to stay basically on the left, but nose needs to be here on the center.
Okay.
So let's go right a bit more. We'll V1 and we rotate the nose up to 15.
15 degrees.
That's it. Keep it there on 15. A little bit more forward. That's it. Bring the thrust a little bit back, a bit too much thrust. Adjust your nose with 2 hands on the yoke. Thrust is good now.
Okay.
And we select the landing gear up. That's it. And we are accelerating to about 180 knots. We can now select the flaps to 1.
Okay.
That's it. Perfect. Reduce the thrust back to 8
Uh-huh.
for the cruise climb. That's it. We maintain 10 degrees for the climb if you want. So a little bit forward to maintain
forward on
10.
that.
Nice and steady there. Perfect. And once we pass 200 knots, we're going to increase the flaps up.
Okay.
And flaps up now.
So,
Perfect. We're going to reach 3,000 feet, so you can see we got 2,700 there. So what we do, we're going to basically start pushing the gently nose forward to 5 to level off the nose.
okay.
That's it. Keep it on 5, the second line. Little bit back pressure. That's
Wow.
it.
What's that red line?
It's a traffic, so we got traffic,
Right.
which is
Something
probably
out
taking
there.
off the airport in front of us.
Right.
Bring the thrust back, quickly back to 4. Otherwise the speed is going to increase way too
Gonna go
much.
Too fast.
Yep. Back to 4.
What's our cruising speed?
About 230 knots.
230. Okay.
230, 240. That's it. Right there, that's good.
Okay.
So under the nose, if you look down here,
Yeah.
that's the airport you're going to try to land later.
Oh,
That's the
right.
challenging approach, which is Santos Dumont.
Okay.
We do a turn to the right,
Yep.
so I'll show you, and we pull the nose back as well. Nice and gentle on the controls. Reduce the angle a bit. That's it. So if you want to turn the aircraft, basically
Yeah.
you need to hold the direction you want to go.
Yeah.
You hold it steady, and then you only adjust the back
And then you
pressure.
pull back. Yeah.
Yep.
To keep altitude.
So basically the airport is down here.
Right.
The approach you're going to try to do is the proper approach, which is really hard. It's
Right.
basically flying over those buildings and make a left and turn on the bay and land on the runway.
Right. Okay.
But you need to be at the right altitude because otherwise you won't be able to land on the runway at all. Right, pull the nose a little bit more back and a little bit more right.
a little more right.
Just a bit.
Okay.
Over this mountain here, that says Jesus Christ in Rio.
Yeah.
So that's where we usually fly. They call the airport Santos Dumont, which is basically the saint of the mountain. And that's because before landing they look, this Jesus Christ, they probably pray that you're going to be able to land in their place.
It's rather apt, isn't
Yeah.
it?
So, just pointing with your heading back on the direction you want to fly. We're going to fly basically downwind. And we're going to fly 320 for the distance, so towards that pink broken line.
Okay. And we're going 3,700.
That's it. See, the speed is pretty good. We got
Yeah.
3,700. As we basically, we're going to be on down. We're going to start descending down to 3,000.
Okay.
Okay, landing gear off. All the brakes off. Chinese continues. Engine blades on. Box is an auto. Landing gear up and off. Flaps up and light. After takeoff checklist is completed. That's it.
Overshot that a little bit.
Oh, that's fine. We can just fly straight on 330.
Okay.
That's good. So if you look in your basically your 2 o'clock down here,
Yep.
that's the aircraft, the airport where we took
Where we
off.
came from?
That's
Yep.
and that's where we're gonna try to do our first touch and go.
Okay. Cool.
So what we do, we start slowing the aircraft down for the approach. So we bring the thrust levers in the idle position back,
Okay.
all the way back.
All the way back to zero.
That's it.
Yep.
And we keep the altitude. You start descending a little bit.
Okay.
So pushing us a little bit forward, just on the first line.
Okay.
A little bit back a bit.
Oh, the first one there.
The first 2.5 degrees is sufficient for us. You can see the needle on the right is pointing down.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that you're descending about 900 feet per minute.
Okay.
So pull the nose back a bit more. That's reduce your rate of descent.
Okay.
That's it. And we go on the approach page and select the flap speed. 138. So the computer calculates the extra speed we need for the final approach. So it's telling you that you want to have that speed on the final approach.
Final approach.
And the number is also up here, so you don't have to look there, you just look in front of you, and this makes the job easier.
Yep.
So we're flying through cumulus clouds. You can see that sometimes we lose visibility,
Yeah.
so we just rely on the instruments for those parts of the flight. This is called, still is a visual circuit, so we keep relying also on visual references.
Okay.
Let's go a little bit left towards the pink line, otherwise we get too close to the runway,
Yeah.
and the 10 is going to be way too steep. That's it, pretty good. And we level off now, right a bit,
Yeah.
and we start pulling out the flaps on 1.
Okay.
Flaps on 1,
Flaps on 1.
that's selected.
Okay.
And you can adjust the thrust on 4, a little bit forward
Yeah.
to maintain 4. About there.
Okay.
Good. Let's stay with this altitude for now. We wait for a distance which is going to be above 7 miles, and then we're going to start turning right.
Okay.
So 7 miles is indicated by this arc here.
Right. Okay.
So it's telling you basically when the triangle is going to end up here, that's when we're going to start turning.
So that's 7. Is that 14? Is that?
It's 10 miles.
Oh, 10.
10 and 7. It's
Okay.
usually 10 within that range.
Okay.
The airlines usually tend a bit shorter,
Right.
but that's basically obviously their training is much more efficient than no pilot that just started the training.
Oops, we're going up.
That's it. Bear in mind that every time we pull the flaps out, that's
Yep.
going to give us a lot of
A
ballooning.
lot more lift.
Yep.
Yep. Cool.
Cool, a little bit back. That's it, nice and gentle.
That's cool.
Leave the landing lights on. We turn these 3 off. These are not
Experience
required
at
for approach.
556. Continue approach. Report on final.
Continue approach. We'll call Experience 556. Okay, 3002. We got 1 mile to go. What we do now, we lower the flaps on 5. So
Okay.
2 stage more down. 1
down.
and 1 more.
One more down.
And 2. Perfect.
Okay.
Okay. Rotating
that.
this right. I'm going to select about 90 degrees to the right.
Okay.
So we pull the nose a little bit back,
Yep.
back a bit. That's it. And back pressure.
So I want to make them sick. So what's this?
It's called trimming wheels. Basically adjust the
Right.
stabilizer, which is
Right.
the tail of the aircraft, and that reduces your workload on the controls here.
Right. Okay.
Keep going to the right. It's nice and continuous 10. We're basically going to do Edward 180-10. You can see there is an arc here.
Mm.
That's the 10 you're making now.
That's
So-
I can see it's pointing back at the airport
Yeah.
pretty much.
So what we're going to do, if you increase the 10 more,
Yeah.
the arc is going to
It's gonna
increase.
get more.
So
yeah.
the idea is basically intercept this over the runway center line.
Right. Okay. Cool.
At this stage, for the instance, we're going to end up on the left-hand side of the center line.
Okay.
So we're going to end up here. So if you want to end up there, you just need to increase your
Just need to
angle.
go a bit further more.
That's it. And as you increase the angle, you need to pull back as well.
Back a bit.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, with the left hand, keep your controls, and the right hand, lower the landing gear for the approach. That's it.
Okay.
The airport is going to appear, basically, at your about 3 o'clock.
Okay.
Landing gear is down and locked, 3 green, flaps 2 notch down, 1 and 2. Keep going with your 10, because we're intercepting the localizer.
Now, do I get an ILS?
Just look outside, we do that, but
Yep.
don't worry about it. Just
Okay.
turn left, we fly down to the runway.
Okay.
So this is a visual circuit, we're going to use the LS as a reference.
Okay.
Okay, a little bit left,
Yep.
keep your wings straight, because you're pretty much there.
Yep.
Now just a little bit left,
A little bit left.
that's
Are
it.
we left or right? One way.
It's basically the center line, you just intercept the center line.
Okay.
And the runway you want to land is the one on the right, which is the only runway. This is the taxiway, that's the runway here.
Oh, right.
Perfect.
Don't want to land on the
Yeah,
taxiway.
no land. They do in Indonesia, but well, we try not to do it in Brazil.
Fair enough.
Okay,
Okay.
we can select the flaps
Yep.
on 25, just 1 notch down.
One notch down. Yep.
Yep, because the speed is a bit high at the moment.
Okay.
Keep it there for the descent. So this is going to be a touch and go. So brakes are
Okay.
not required.
Right.
And speed brakes are not required as well.
Okay.
Distance is 4.4 miles. We report 3 miles.
Okay.
That's pretty good. You're on the runway center line, but we are just too high. We didn't lose altitude during the turn.
Go down a bit.
Just keep it as it is. A little bit back pressure. Otherwise, it's going to increase the speed too much.
Okay.
Go with the flaps 30. Just that's it.
30. Yep.
And increase your thrust to 6. That's it. Okay. A little bit right, just a bit. A little bit right. Just fly down to the runway.
Yep.
That's good. Keep it nice
So
and steady.
the runway is actually the dark.
Yes.
That I couldn't see before.
That's the
Okay,
one.
got
Yeah.
it, yep.
Between the two lights, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
Left a bit.
Left a bit.
Just bear in mind you're coming with an angle. Just don't look
Yeah.
outside.
Yeah.
Look in here and aim the runway center line with an angle.
Okay.
It looks like you're coming with an angle. That's because it's called parallax error.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why, because you're sitting on the left hand side of the fuselage.
Gotcha.
So you got to basically use the console as a reference for the center line.
Okay.
Okay, we are approaching the glass lobe. Pull the nose a little bit back
Yeah.
and a little bit left. That's it. And increase the thrust to 7. That's it. Just to keep up the speed.
Okay.
Perfect. Space 556. And short final touch and go. Good. Keep looking the runway.
Flight Experience 556, clear touch and go.
Okay, touch and go. Space 556. So what we're going to do, the computer is going to call the altitude as we go down. That's
Yep.
from the radial altimeter. At 100 feet, we're going to pull the nose up to the first line on the horizon.
Okay.
And when you're at 50, you bring the thrust straight away back to idle.
Okay.
Good. A little more back pressure now, just a bit. That's it. Speed is perfect. 2 yellow and 2 red. You see yellow, red. That means we are on the glass lobe.
Okay. Right. Right.
200 feet to go.
Oh.
That's it. Pretty good. Keep it straight. 100. Pull back now on the first line, gently up, and the thrust back to idle. That's it. Don't let it climb. Don't let it climb.
Don't
See,
let it
it's
climb too much. Yep.
It's a bit too much.
Let's see,
Back
maybe.
pressure now. Back pressure. Back pressure. That's it.
Okay.
And the thrust forward. We
Yep.
take off again.
Alright.
Good. Use your pedals.
Yep.
And wait for the rotation speed. I called
Okay,
1 to
one.
rotate. And V1, rotate. That's it. Up to 15. 12, 15.
Okay.
There you go. Landing gear up. And we push then gently the nose down to 10 for a nice and gentle climb. That's it.
Beautiful.
Little back pressure. Wings straight. That's it. Landing gear off. Flaps up. All the way up. And the thrust back to 8.
So what's landing gear off as opposed to up?
It's basically release the hydraulic systems.
Gotcha. Okay.
And we push nose down to 5. That's it. We hold the 5.
10,000, yeah.
Back pressure.
Oh.
2.5. That is 2.5. That's it. About there.
Okay.
That's it. And we're gonna start our first approach. So what we do, we turn right, heading 190,
Okay.
and back pressure as you're turning. That's your airport down there.
That one there. Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
that one there.
Okay.
Santos Dumont. Nice and gentle on the controls. Look outside what turning you're doing.
Yeah.
That's it. Bringing the thrust back, all the way back to idle because you are too fast. Good.
So,
Let's keep going a little bit more right.
oh, a bit more.
Yep.
Okay.
So you wait for the pink line and then you.
What's that green line?
Which one? That's basically when you're gonna maintain the altitude. It's telling you that at this stage you're gonna intercept the altitude at that position.
Oh, right. Damn.
That's it. Perfect.
That's cool.
Let's keep going.
Yep.
And we select the airport for approach. SPRJ. Runway 02 right. Bang.
How you going in the back there? Not getting too sick?
Alright, that's basically.
Getting nervous yet?
Let's pull the nose back to maintain the altitude on 2.5 degrees.
Yep.
And we start turning right to heading 240. Pull the nose back as you're turning. Back. Reduce the angle. That's it. That's your turn. A little bit left. Look outside. Look at the turn you're making as well. That's it. That's the turn you want to have. Good. You see the pink line is coming closer to the center.
Around, yep.
Now you start rolling out.
Yep.
That's it. Alright, and center now. Center, that was going to continue the 10. Yep. That's it. Trim a little bit. Adjust your thrust. Forward, 2-4. Good. And we select the approach speed. So it's going to be 130 plus 6 knots. That's going to be 136. Good.
Okay.
Alright, keep your back pressure otherwise we're descending. Descending 700 feet per minute. That's it. Keep it there on 2.5 degrees. So what we do, we're going to turn basically left and come back for landing.
Okay, right. So there's the runway center line there.
That's right. So we select the flaps on 1 first. That's it. We select your brakes here on the maximum position.
Okay.
That's the one. And we usually flick the fasten seatbelt sign off and on.
Right.
That's for your flight attendants. They're going to wear the seatbelts. Basically, this is a place, a dangerous place to land.
Right.
Cool. So, rotating the heading back. Keep your back pressure otherwise you're descending.
Oh, yep.
That's it. When you're ready, you can start doing a left and 10.
Okay. Back to that.
Nice and gentle. Use your arc as a reference. That's it. That's good. That's the turn you want to have.
Okay.
You can see that in front of you there is a warning which just illuminated up here.
Oh yeah.
Master caution fuel.
Fuel. Okay.
So we basically run out of fuel.
Okay.
But the engine is still running, so it's not a big deal. So basically, we just finished the fuel on the center tank,
right.
but we got full fuel on the wings.
Okay.
So we need 10 off the fuel pumps. One, that's it.
That
Cool.
one there. Okay.
That's the one.
Right.
Perfect 10. Let's continue that.
See what they mean by cockpit workload?
There is a lot of work off. Yeah.
A lot to do.
That's why they invented the autopilot systems.
Yeah.
Imagine flying for 6-7 hours like this.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot to take in.
Absolutely.
Moving in 3 dimensions versus.
Oh yeah.
You know. Yeah. So I'll bring that back a bit.
So this airport where we're going, Santos Dumont, there's
cool.
no. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's perfect.
So you can literally see when you're gonna.
Yes.
How to intercept the line that you want.
That's the idea.
Seriously helpful.
Basically, because you can't see outside, you need to rely on those instruments to do it.
What do they do before the that screen?
I keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going left a bit more. Push the nose down a bit because it's a bit high.
Oh yeah, we're 4200.
On the first line. Just keep it on the first line.
Okay.
Back pressure a bit. Back pressure, just to keep your nose above the horizon. Flaps on 5, 2 notch down. That's it. We got about 10 miles to go.
Okay.
Push nose forward a bit.
Yeah.
Forward a bit.
Yeah.
Lower the landing gear. That's it. Leveling off gently. Keep going a little more left. So we can't fly straight to the runway because there is basically a cable in front of us.
Right.
Between those two mountains.
Yep.
So we need to go there where there is this V, and then make a right hand turn and then a left hand turn. The airport has got 2 power runways, and you're going to use the one on the right, which makes the job a bit more hard.
A bit harder. So this is about as hard as it gets in terms of this airport?
The approach they usually do is even harder.
Right.
So this you can do this, it's not too hard.
Not too bad.
The other one is very, very hard because you need to check 6 instruments at a time and 10 and descend and find yourself at the right position at the end of the 10.
Right.
And
cool.
It's too hard. Cool. Flaps on 15 for the approach. That's it. I'm going to use a little bit of speed brakes for you to slow down the aircraft.
So that's why we're going a little bit to the left.
Yes.
Of the center line.
So we continue visual. There's no instrument approach in this airport.
Okay.
So the only way to land here is by visual reference, using the GPS as distance, just for the distance reference.
So what do they do in bad weather?
In bad weather, they can't land here, basically. There's a GPS arrival, but if it's really bad weather, they simply go to the other airport, which is down near.
Gotcha. Pretty bad place to put an airport.
Oh, yeah. I guess it's for the traffic they did it, yeah. But it's pretty amazing. If you ever go land in that place, it's unbelievable. You see the video on YouTube, but it's
great. Oh,
yeah.
I'll have to look it up.
It's probably better than Hong Kong.
Right.
Alright, flaps down, a bit more, 225. That's it. We keep slowing down. As we get closer to the mountain, you're going to see basically the cable join those two mountains, which is the reason why we can't fly straight.
Oh, right. cable car that goes on top of
Yeah.
it. Gotcha.
A little back pressure, just a bit, that's it. Alright. Okay, flaps 30. And the thrust to 6. That's our cable. So what we do, as soon as we pass the mountain, we do a turn right and then left.
Okay. Right.
That's it.
Yep.
Start turning now.
Is that my radar altimeter?
Yeah, just pass you obviously too close to the mountains.
Ah, right.
A little bit back pressure.
Yeah.
Continue the turn to the right. A bit more back pressure. That's it. Keep going. Turn left now. All the way left. Look the runway. Look where we're going. That's it. Do a continuous turn to the left towards the second runway here.
Okay.
Keep going. Just don't watch instruments. Fly to the runway.
Yeah.
So left.
Okay.
More left and more back pressure. That's it. Space 556 on 590 to right. Left a bit, left a bit. Remember the angle, you gotta just look outside.
Flight Experience, 556.
Push the nose down.
Clear to land.
Clear to land, Space 556. Left a bit, left a bit. We're coming with an angle, that's it.
Yep. We're going to have to flip it back.
10 right now.
10 right now. Yep.
We're a bit high at the moment. It's nice and gentle on the controls, just steady inputs. Pull the nose back. Nose back. Just try it, keep it straight, keep it straight. That's it, pretty good. Hold it there. 50, thrust back to idle. That's our touchdown marker here.
Right.
Pull the nose a little bit back, a little bit back. That's it, and reverse thrust. Pretty good. Let the aircraft slow down. Auto brakes disengaged, I did it for you. And we can close the reverse thrust. That's it. We're gonna taxi off the aircraft. So literally when they land in this place, they stop the aircraft here.
Right.
They don't usually use max. Depends on the weight of the aircraft, obviously, but they really stop the aircraft here and then 10 left with speed. That's it. Use that.
Yep.
We killed the runway. Keep going. We cross the runway as well. And we're gonna stop in front of us. There you go.
Alright. Cool.
Well done. Just landed in Santos Dumont, one of the most dangerous airports in the world. Pretty good.
I can see why.
Pull the parking brakes off. That's it. All the way back. Perfect. And you can now relax a little bit. Whew. We just made it.
And Ryan A want to fly with one pilot.
That's
Is
it.
that crazy or what?
Yeah, it is actually. Alright, we go to Hong Kong now. We go to your option, Captain. You can choose basically to take off from the new Hong Kong airport and land on the old one, or take off from Maccau, which is about 20 miles away. We can do a longer flight and fly between the islands down to Hong Kong.
Take off in Maccau? Yeah. And then, why not?
Maccau?
Yeah, let's
we'll do that. No worries.
Let's do that.
So, because the flight was too easy today, we're gonna take off from Maccau in monsoon season.
Okay.
So respecting turbulence and bad weather and reduced visibility as well.
Okay.
So the other part here is basically that you've been flying looking outside. This time, even if you look outside, you won't help you at all. So. Okay, let's just reset the time first. We're gonna fly dusk just to make it interesting.
So this is Maccau, is it?
It is. It's basically. It's a pretty cool airport. Basically, there is a taxiway, which is a road over the ocean, which goes on the left.
Right.
So basically, the terminal is located down there, where you see the lights down there, and there's a taxiway which crosses the ocean. Basically, goes there. So the wings are left and right, basically over the water. Yeah.
Cool. Is that that's the bridge? Is that the
That's the big bridge.
That's the big bridge, yeah.
All right, let's prepare the aircraft. Okay.
Is this land? Is that showing?
Yes, that's your terrain basically. Yes.
Just makes it a lot easier.
You didn't see it before because basically there was not much terrain where we were flying.
Right.
Okay. All right, thunderstorm.
Okay, some weather.
That's not very bad, but that's what we want actually. That's it. So we got 12 miles visibility.
Okay.
And we're gonna put a little bit of wind just to make the flight a bit more interesting as well. So we're expecting turbulence along the route,
Okay.
moderate turbulence, and a little bit of crosswind on the runway.
Wind shear.
We're gonna have some wind shear as well. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna take off from Maccau. We'll do a climbing turn. We do a climbing turn towards Hong Kong, flying using the systems which is gonna appear basically a flight plan here, and tell us where to go basically. And that's how they really fly the aircraft. We need to be careful with terrain. We get a little terrain as we go. Let's put a little more clouds as well.
So, what altitude's the sort of the darker yellow?
Depends when you're flying closer, it changes with the color.
Oh,
So at
okay.
this stage it's probably 200, 300 feet AGL, so it's
Right.
not big mountains at all.
Right.
Alright, let's put the flight plan in the computer for departure. So we're going to obviously depart from Maccau, which is VMMMC, you can see on the top there.
Right.
And we're going to fly to VHHX on the top destination. 556 is the flight number. Runway 34 is departure. Runway 13 is the arrival. You can see the actual route, the direction.
And is this is that the same interface they use on the
Exactly
plane?
the same system,
Same?
yeah.
Wow, okay.
So now we put the reference zero fuel weight, which is standard. The reserve fuel is 2%, and 4 is the cost index of the flight. We're gonna climb to 4,500, and the transition altitude is 9,000, and we execute the. Then flaps 5 for takeoff. 27 is the center of gravity, which comes from the calculation we did before the flight, and that's your reference speed up here. V1, V rotation speed,
Right.
and 1V2
Oh,
when
so
you're
it's
board.
telling you, and then that's when you put in here.
Exactly.
Is it
So
what
let's go 142.
142?
Yeah, your V2 speed.
Okay. Right.
You select your the track for the arrival. So we
Yep.
select 088. That's not there. So that comes from the chart.
Okay.
So 088.
088.
Yep. That's your arrival for Hong Kong.
Okay.
It's basically like your ILS in Hong Kong, but
Yeah.
it won't be an ILS. It's called IGS because
Okay.
basically an ILS is made for the runway satellite.
Mhm.
In Hong Kong, it's not possible to make a straight approach, so they invented an instruments guidance system.
Right.
So they guide you to the airport,
Yeah.
but you won't see the airport in front of you.
Right. Okay.
It's a bit confusing.
Okay.
So we select here the runway direction, which is 343.
343.
Yep. That's it. And you select the altitude for cruise is 4,500.
4,000.
4.5.
Okay.
That's it. That's about it. We do our RP for takeoff check. Basically select all the brakes on RTO.
Yep.
We turn on all the lights up here, all of them.
Okay. Why
Yeah.
why is the auto
What?
brakes on RTO?
Because if you want to board takeoff, that's
Right.
how you do it.
Right. Okay.
So remember the RTO, it's your eject takeoff position.
Ah, okay.
So that's how you deploy the brakes. If you
So
got
before you
an
take off,
yeah,
okay.
if you got an engine problem or burst drag or something, you want to do it before you take off. Obviously, once you pass this speed here,
It
you're
won't.
not allowed to do anymore. You
Right.
gotta go.
And so will the computer automatically not engage the brake while?
Yes, exactly.
Right.
All right. The fasten seatbelt sign on.
Okay.
Just forward, all the way forward. That's it. And this is a night flight as well. We
Yep.
turn on the logo lights in on position.
Okay.
Anti-collision is already on. The wings light forward
Yep.
on. That's your lights on the tips, and the wheel well as well.
On.
That's it.
Okay.
Then on your left hand side there is this knob here under the tiller,
Yep.
the bigger knob. Turn that all the way to the left.
All the way to the left. Ah, that. Right.
Okay.
Okay. Mood lighting.
That's it. Alright, it's your frequency for the arrival in Hong Kong. We press the button here, Edward. Press that button. I transfer your frequency 1.9 in the active position.
Right.
That's a ILS or IGS for Hong Kong. Alright, ready to go?
Yep.
Alright. So let's call for takeoff clearance. It's all set. Set. We select that on 5, so the checklist is completed. Experience 556 ready for takeoff. Runway 34.
Flight Experience 556 cleared for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff. Experience 556. So we're gonna do another thrust takeoff this time. I'll show you that it works.
Right.
So what we do, we release the parking brakes as before. Push forward. That's it.
Yep.
Pop your right hand and increase it that to 4. I'm keeping my feet on the brakes, obviously.
Okay.
That's it. We let the engine stabilize. We do an engine check and then we activate the auto thrust.
Right.
Select your auto thrust up. Select your flight director up.
Yep.
That's it. Engine are stabilized.
Yep.
And good. Press the toga button down here. Press that.
Oh wow.
Auto thrust is activated. Brakes are released, so use the pedals now.
Yep.
And then you keep your hands on the yoke. And keep my hand here just in case we got a failure.
Okay.
That's it. Use the pedals. There you go. The speed is increasing.
Yep.
There you go. 80 knots. Bit more right.
Yep.
I'll do the speed, don't worry about it.
Okay.
V1. Rotate. Up to 15. Nice and gentle, up to 15. And that's 15. Keep it there. Pause the climb. Landing gear up. Perfect. Okay, push the nose a little bit forward, down to 15. That's roughly there. Keep your wings straight as well.
Cool.
Good. Flaps on 1. Checked. And press level change here. That's it. That's going to adjust the thrust for the climb.
Right.
And that reduces the use of fuel. Don't use too much fuel, just enough fuel
Just
to climb.
enough to keep it. Yep.
Yes. Cool. So that's your route.
Yep.
Going to the right.
Okay.
So before you start turning and twist the rotating your heading back,
Set the heading. Okay.
we're gonna fly to 060.
Okay.
Nice and gentle, and pull the nose a little bit back to maintain 10. That's it. Nice and gentle on the controls. Perfect. Keep it there
It's
on
a
10.
lot harder when you can't see anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's pretty good 10. So the way to see if you're making a good or too steep 10
Yeah.
is the triangle on the top here.
Ah,
So that
right.
triangle is telling you, let's push the nose down now.
Yeah.
Down to 5. Don't go climb too much. Push as much as you can. That's it.
Okay.
Keep it there.
Skip level. So that's why you can always hear the engines always adjusting
Yeah.
when you're a passenger. It's the
It's
auto
mainly when
conversion.
you're landing. That's
Yeah.
why it changes a lot.
Right.
Let's continue a little bit right.
A little bit more. Yeah.
And gear off. All the brakes off. Towards your peak broken line. So this triangle here is telling you how steep you're turning.
Yeah.
As you increase that, you can see the triangle moves the other way.
Yeah.
So the idea is aiming this after the second line, and that's your rate 110. Obviously, if you're making a gentle turn, you not look that. You just use as a reference. You don't make a rate 110, otherwise it's going to be too steep.
Right.
You can do it, but it means then you need to correct straight away once the peak line gets closer.
Gotcha.
Keep going a little bit more. That's it. Nice and gentle. And after takeoff checklist, engine blades on, box is on auto, landing gear up and off, flaps up and light. After takeoff checklist is completed. Cool, a little back pressure, otherwise we descend.
So what's that cruising? 4500.
That's it. About there. Good. So in this configuration, the airlines fly, they change the screen in this kind of map.
Oh, right.
So obviously they don't want to see things in the back.
Yeah.
They just want to see in the front,
What's
and
going
that's
on.
how they do it.
Is that integrated radar as well? Will you see? It's not weather radar.
This is weather radar.
As well?
That's not weather radar.
Right.
That's just your map.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't see anything.
Can't see a thing. It's a good thing. This is called IFR flight. Instrument fire wheels in IMC condition, instrument meteorological conditions. So basically you can't see outside.
Yeah.
Okay, after takeoff we turn off the lights, all them. That's it. And we select the autopilot. I show you how it works. So press the command button here.
Yep.
Press that. Command.
Yep.
That's it. And now the command is basically the autopilot is taking over.
Right.
So if you want to turn the aircraft this stage, you can try with the yoke.
Yeah.
You can move it, but that doesn't make any
Doesn't do
difference.
anything.
That's
Okay.
it. So what we need to do is basically,
So it's doing altitude and heading.
yes.
So I don't need to do anything.
So let's select here 2,500. And select here 1,700 up.
So what is that?
So this is your rate of descent.
Ah.
You're descending 1,700 feet per minute,
Yeah.
descending to 2,005.
Okay.
So as we need to fly closer to the airport, we're gonna basically turn the heading back to the right.
Right.
Select that to about 100. Even
So-
110 actually.
110.
Yep.
Okay. So do pilots fly this way a lot?
all the time.
All the time.
It's basically mandatory after takeoff.
Yeah.
About 600 feet, they engage the autopilot,
Right,
and they disengage it just before landing.
Right.
They always fly with that. That's reduces the workload. Imagine that as you were flying before,
Yeah.
you're supposed to do radio calls, check
Yeah.
your charts, brief the other pilot on the procedures,
amazing.
call the flight attendants to let them know about what's going on. So yeah.
This is just now you don't have to worry about it. Throttles.
Yeah, you do the checks all the time.
Yeah.
So simply you check the thrust, you check your speed, you check the altitude, what the aircraft is doing.
Yeah.
So you select the 1007, you look down here, and it's pointing. You can see the needle is pointing 1700, and that's your check basically.
Right.
Speed, we need to reduce the speed. You can see we got 266.
Yep.
Use your speed brakes
Okay.
on the up and on the detent position.
Okay.
That's it.
So is this an analog control? Like, is that more to go there, or is that just on or off? Is it just one or the other?
No, it's basically just as you pull it out,
Yeah.
the spoiler
Will come
moves
out.
will come out.
So
Yeah.
that's pushing it in. and
Yes,
pulling it
exactly.
out. Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha. So now we're down. What do we want to maintain? Is it 230?
2005. Now you can close the speed brakes. That's it. 240 knots is fine.
Okay.
And we know we're flying the Hong Kong airport in 2 seconds, the new Hong Kong airport. So if you look in front of you, you should be probably able to see the new airport. So down here, you can see that lights here.
Ah.
That's your heel light, which are your approach lights.
Right.
This is an aircraft on the ground. We're gonna basically fly the airport in 2 seconds.
Okay.
So you'll be able to see the terminal.
Oh, so that's VHHH is the
Exactly,
new one.
the
And
new
we're
one.
going to there?
We're going up here.
Oh, we're going up here.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Wow.
That's approach lights. There you go. And you can see the terminal here.
Okay.
That's giving you how much visibility we got. Obviously, not much.
Not a lot. Not a lot.
So what we're gonna do in a moment, we can basically do an approach. Yeah, we're gonna do an approach. If you want, we do autopilot, or you can fly hands-on. Up to you.
Hands on. Why not?
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna just make the turn with the autopilot, and then you're gonna take over.
Okay.
So let's start turning gently to the left. Yep, that one there.
Yep.
To 090. And 088 actually.
088?
Yep, it's your track for the Rebel.
Okay.
So you can see the localizers coming in. This dot here. This is usually the runway center line.
Right.
Here is not obviously the runway center, it's just your approach.
Yep.
So the idea is having the localizer here on the center line here.
Yeah, okay.
So we're going to adjust the turn as we go.
Okay.
So obviously that's still sitting on the right hand side. So let's turn a bit more right to 095. That's it. We're doing basically a 7 degrees intercept. And as we fly to the right, that dot is going to come to the center.
Okay.
It's basically intercepting a line.
Yeah.
And it's much harder to do it without the autopilot. It's really hard.
Right, right. Yeah, I can imagine. It's just, I can see why there's all this auto everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's coming very slowly, that's fine.
Okay.
We go on a fixed position, we select VHHX, down.
Okay.
And you can see the airport is basically up here.
Right, yep. And so that traffic came up because there was...
Obviously taken off from the Hong Kong, the new Hong Kong
You
airport.
can see it there.
Alright, let's select in the meantime the auto brakes here on the max position, on 3 position, 3 be right, yeah, that'll be fine. Let's go 103, 102, 3, yeah, that's fine. You can see the dot is coming to the center slowly. So when he's halfway between the first dot and the center, right there,
Yep.
we're gonna turn to 08.
088.
Yep,
okay.
do it now. 088. We're gonna consider wind as well. So we probably need to use
Oh, there's the bridge.
092. 092. The reason why is there is the wind from the right hand side
Yeah.
that's going to push us away from the third
Right.
position. You can
So we
see
have to
basically
cut it
the
across.
wind 182, 12 knots.
Right.
So the wind is coming from here. It's full crosswind. And that's going to push the aircraft away. So you need to counteract by pushing the nose into wind.
Yep.
Glass slope is coming down. The dot.
Mm-hmm.
On the first dot, we lower the landing gear.
Right.
So lower the landing gear. That's it. And select your flaps to 5, 2, and 5. Approach, flaps ferry, 1, 3. Reduce the speed here
Yep.
to 175, 145, 148 actually.
148.
Yep.
Will it do speed brakes automatically?
Yes.
It will.
Yep. So let's get ready for the approach. You're gonna take over the controls.
Yep.
Tell me when you're ready.
Okay.
Autopilot is disengaged.
Okay.
So you're controlling the aircraft as before.
Okay.
Cool.
Right.
Thrust all the way
there's-
back.
There's the glide slope.
All the way back.
Yep.
That's it. And lower the flaps to 15. That's it, 15.
Okay.
Good. Turn on the landing lights for the approach. That's it. Perfect. A little bit right. Just a bit. You
So
can see it.
keeping this dot in the middle there.
You can use this as a reference as well.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's it. A little bit back pressure. You can see in front of you we got approach lights. That's just strobo lights over the buildings.
Oh,
So that means we are on approach.
Right.
Experience 556 on the localizer.
Flight Experience 556. Continue approach. Report on final.
Continue approach on flight experience 556. Okay. Perfect. Thrust. Flaps on 30 and thrust on 7. That's it. Good.
Okay.
That's it. Keep the nose just above the horizon.
Just above the horizon.
Yeah, that's it. Look in front of you and
Yeah.
follow these strobo lights.
Okay.
So just go straight, don't turn yet. So that's your turning point.
Oh, right.
From that point, we need to see on the left the checkerboard, which is our last reference.
Yep.
If we can't see that, we can't land.
Right.
So
okay.
the
The checkerboard, right?
flaps 40.
40.
Yeah, that's it. Spreads 556 on final runway inside. Checkerboard inside.
Yeah. That's the
Flight
checkerboard.
Experience
Okay.
556. Cleared to land.
Okay.
Good land, spreads 556. Okay. Start.
Follow that around.
Yeah, 4 around.
Yep.
A nice and gentle turn. We're a bit high at the moment, so let the
Yeah.
nose down as it is. That's it. That's pretty good. Speed is
A
alright.
little bit low. Is that our stall speed there? 110.
136. 110 is the stall speed, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
That's it.
Look how close those buildings get. Pretty close.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Bear in mind we're going to have some crosswind on approach.
Right. Okay. Coming.
Start
from-
pull the nose back, coming from the right hand side
Coming
from
from-
180.
Okay.
That's it, pretty good. Keep it there.
Okay.
We're going to touch down here.
Okay.
So keep it as it is.
Yep.
Pull the nose back between up to the first line.
Okay.
And that's it. And the thrust. Thrust back to idle. Increase your back pressure as you go down. That's it.
20.
And touch down. And use the reverse thrust now. That's pretty good. 80 knots, 70 knots, and close the reverse thrust. Perfect. Landing lights off for you. Use the tiller. We're gonna taxi off the runway using the first taxiway on the left.
Okay.
Flaps up. Speed brakes up. All the brakes off. That's your taxiway here.
This there. Yep.
We're gonna do a speed taxiway. So we turn when we are here.
Okay.
That's it. All the way to the left. All the way. Bear in mind we got the ocean here, Edward. So we need to continue
So
the
it's gotta
turn
be
to the
pretty-
left.
Pretty sharp.
That's it.
Okay.
Continue all the way to the left. Left a bit more. Keep your nose on the center. That's it. And we taxi off the runway.
Cool. That was awesome.
So that's welcome to Hong Kong, guys.
Yeah.
This is the old Catec,
That's it.
one of the most crazy
Oh, there's
airports in the
Melbourne
world.
Over there. That's right.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
big building there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're taxiing down this, and we're gonna park the aircraft and complete our procedures for today's flight. So you can see it's basically in the middle of the city. Those are your approach lights over the buildings.
So they actually were. They actually had these lights on.
Yes,
on the buildings.
yes.
Wow.
You could have those because in low visibility you can't see the runway. That's called hill system, which high intensity lights,
Right.
and that's how you see the runway in bad weather.
Right.
And also there's that checkerboard there,
Yep.
which is unique. The only
Yes.
place in the world is in Hong
That
Kong.
does that. Right.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
You can see over the top here all the shape of the mountains as well.
Yep.
You can't really see it with this, but there are big mountains here as well, and those are the reason why we can fly straight to the runway.
Right.
Obviously, if the wind is blowing from the ocean, you can only land in that direction. So this airport closed in '98,
Yeah.
and didn't close for accidents. It actually closed due to traffic.
Just too
So
many planes.
yeah, too many planes, one runway.
They
and
still use it.
it's completely closed at the moment.
Oh, really?
They are
Okay.
they are actually buildings, hotel, resort.
So they're reclaiming it. So they're not going to use it as an
They're not
airport.
going to use an airport anymore. Yeah, which is a shame for the pilots.
Yeah.
They should have kept it, but
I'm sure some pilots probably don't mind that.
yeah,
They don't
yeah.
have to land there anymore.
That's it. Little bit right. Up there. Right a bit.
Yeah.
That's it. So basically our bridge, our parking spot is down there.
Okay.
That's it. So keep your nose here on the center line.
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
Anyway, for sure.
Otherwise, the police is gonna catch us. That's it. So the bridge is right in front of us here. Obviously, you can't see it properly. So what we need to do is when we reach the intersection here, we're gonna turn right and then left. And you find on your left-hand side there is a line down here, basically.
Okay.
I got the brakes. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Turn right, and that's your line here. Turn left. That's it. Let me straight. Let me straight. Keep going straight. I'll tell you when to turn. Keep going straight. Otherwise, we'll get too close.
Yep.
That's it. Turn left a little bit. Pretty good. Coming up to the terminal, we use the first bridge. And we're gonna stop in here. Perfect. Parking brakes all the way back, and we complete our shutdown procedures like the real aircraft. Basically, the first things is let the people on the ground approach us to disembark the aircraft. So the sign for them is those three lights. So that means for them that basically we're not going to increase the thrust all the way.
Right.
So obviously you want to shut down the engine as soon as possible.
Yep.
To do that, we need to basically activate the turbine, which is located on the back of the aircraft. That's called auxiliary power unit.
Right. Yeah.
So we check in here. The auxiliary power unit is running. We left this running all the time on the flight. So if you have an engine failure, you can use it.
You can still got power.
Yes, exactly.
Yep.
So that's give us the electrical power. So what we need to do, that's how you turn it on, basically.
Okay.
Now it's in the on position, as you can see. So what we do, we flick those two switches forward, and that's how you, just the one in the middle,
Yep.
those two.
Oh, these two?
Yep, these two. So that's flick your, basically we're not going to use electric power from the engine anymore. We use the electric
From
power
the
from the
yeah,
turbine.
okay.
Perfect. So now we are allowed to shut down. So we pull these two levers out and all the way down in the cut-off position. That's how you cut the fuel to the engine. And that is a shutdown. We check for a shutdown. Shutting down the N1. Your basically fuel flow is going down to zero. There's no temperature on the turbine.
Yep.
It's basically reducing the temperature. All temperature and pressure down. All quantity as well. There's no vibration anymore. I don't see any fire. No one is complaining. That's good as well.
No one's yelling at us.
That's it. That's good.
Yeah.
And what we do now, we basically fasten seatbelt sign no smoking off, so the guys can basically start disembarking the aircraft as soon as possible. Turn off the anti-collision light.
Yep.
That's best for the engines. You can turn off all the lights basically.
Okay.
That's it. This
Got
one
that
off,
as well, yep.
and this stays in off position. I don't know why they made it in the middle position.
Okay.
So that's basically all the lights are off,
Yep.
so the guys on the ground can work on the aircraft. They start disembarking, and we complete our procedures for the shutdown.
Right.
Get the checklist, shutdown checklist here. So we got the fuel pumps. We need to turn it off.
Yep.
So this is off. You need to turn off this one here,
This
those
one here.
two,
Yep.
and we'll leave the other two running because the APU uses the fuel from the left wing.
Ah, okay.
So that's the fuel pump is done. The
Yep.
probe bit, which is your pitot system, the heating system, is basically those two switches up there.
Okay.
We turn it off.
Yep.
That's it. Then we got a hydraulic panel. We turn it off. It's basically those two in the middle,
Okay.
which is your electrics. We leave the engine on because it doesn't make any difference. The engine is not running.
It's not running anyway. Okay.
Then we got the flaps. We check the flaps is up,
Yep.
which it is up.
Yep.
Lever is up. We got the parking brakes, which is in the.
That one.
We can see the light is on.
Yep.
Engine start levers in the cut-off
Cut off.
position,
Yep.
and then we secure the aircraft.
Right.
So RS, that's your reference navigation system. Basically, in your reference system, we turn it off. That's it. That one as well.
Okay.
Left, and right.
Yep.
That's it. That's how you recognize the position of the aircraft when you go on the FMC. So when I press the button that says VMMT,
Yeah.
this obviously knows from using that
From
system there.
IS, Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Emergency exit lights.
Yep.
You can turn it off.
What's that?
The emergency lights inside the cabin.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
turn is off because you complete the flight.
But it's got a little cover over the
Yes,
top.
because you want to do it during the flight. You want to always give it in the arm position. If there's an emergency, that's going to illuminate it by itself. Then if you want to do the shutdown, we basically turn off the Windows 8 as well.
Yep.
So those two on the top.
This one there.
That's it. And the one on the left. That's
one
it.
there,
Perfect. And the PEX, which is your air condition system. It's PEX off
Yep.
and the blade on,
Okay.
which is basically using the APU system. And that's it. That's completed. Press the button in front of you, the yellow button. That's going to cancel the error.
This one here.
So if there are more problems, that's going to basically illuminate. You can see it's all clear.
Yep.
Basically, we completed the flight. Well done, Edward.
Thank you very
Really
much.
good.
That was awesome.
That's good.
Thank you. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. It's